My rugby career was short and sweet. Ended in the second form. But I've been watching it for 50 years. And like everyone else that watches it as much as I do, yeah, we think we have a fair clue of what's going on.
This is very disappointing. I mean, it's a sellout at Hagley Oval for England at the same time as down the road at the rickety old stadium on a cold night as Canterbury Hawke's Bay.
You have to have a bit of luck. You have to have all your best players fit at the right time. You've got to find a little bit of form, either before the tournament or during the tournament. You have to be onside with the ref, and you've got to get some 50-50 calls.
DSPN, the Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
DSPN, welcome to it, people. John Day with me. If you're thinking, there's no sport on this weekend, I've got nothing to watch, let me give you a little list. Netball Constellation Cup tonight in Melbourne. With everything that has gone on with the Silver Ferns, I mean, just put a win together against Australia. I just want the players to do this for themselves, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like, the pressure is on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's like, okay, some of you want to complain about the coach? Well, let's see how you do, because we won the Constellation Cup last year with Dame Nolene Taurua. 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
Kiwis, Samoa, 6 p.m. Sunday.
Oh, mate.
Massive.
This is huge.
Yeah.
Like, International Rugby League is alive and well. Payne Haas lining up for Samoa alongside a million other NRL stars.
Yep.
We have got such a good team that Aaron Clark, who you spoke to earlier in the week,
Yep.
can't even make the starting team. He's the lock of the year in
crazy,
the NRL.
isn't it?
So
Yeah.
Joey Tarpanay lining up at lock. Like, this is stacked fireworks at Mount Smart. Massive.
F1 Texas Monday morning.
This is huge because Liam Lawson now has 2 races to secure the seat. Helmut Marko, who's the guy at Red Bull, has come out and said by the Mexican Grand Prix, which follows this one, they're going to land on which drivers are going to be at RB and at Red Bull. So 2 races for Liam to get it done.
A-League, both New Zealand sides, Auckland and the Knicks, are in Australia, kicking it off.
Yeah, this is a bit of a shame,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
is,
Because
isn't it?
I like it when at least one of the New Zealand
Should be
teams
playing
is
at
at
home, you
home.
think?
So bit of second season syndrome for Auckland, you reckon? They don't care about them now? It's like, oh, you can just play in Australia.
Oh, well, look, they know that this Auckland side is going to get 20-something thousand every time they play at Mount Smart. And so I've got tickets for that one, October the 25th, all booked, all set to go. And, of course, NPC Semi-Finals. We had the quarterfinals last week. Significant that all 4 top seeds won through. 2 games, Otago Bay of Plenty tonight, Canterbury Hawke's Bay tomorrow night. And we haven't forgotten, ladies and gentlemen, that this one just conveniently clashes with a game of cricket.
This is very disappointing. I mean, it's a sellout at Hagley Oval for England Black Caps. Like England with Brendan McCullum, Tim Southey. Weird. And Jeetan Patel. That's 7:15, exactly the same time as down the road at the rickety old stadium on a cold night as Canterbury Hawke's Bay. How many people do you reckon are realistically going to go to that
This is
semi-final?
a real shame because this, game, Sense and Sensibility should be, okay, let's move this game till the afternoon. And
Yep.
I know that as far as the broadcasters are concerned, they've got an audience, they've got a slot that they've got to fill. They want to have something on Saturday night, prime time to watch and everything. But it's just, for the viewer, it's a real shame, and also for people in Christchurch. It's just, you just know that this Canterbury game would be better pitched in the afternoon.
Exactly, and I hate choosing. I'm one of those indecisive kind of guys. And
I don't like having the split screen on the couch and this stuff going on.
Yeah, I know. It's too hard, Marty, for people like us, right? So, yeah, a real shame that we're not watching some afternoon footy in Canterbury. Should be a classic game, though. Canterbury have got a bit of a wobbly boot after dominating all season.
Yeah, let's just have a look at their last. Let's look at that game first. That's the game on Saturday night. They beat Taranaki. This is their last 3 performances, 34-14, which was a great win. Then they drew with Northland 19-all. And let's not forget in that quarterfinal, effectively they drew with Counties 15-all. Then they went on to win it in extra time. So that's not really convincing form, despite being the top seed.
Yeah, and before that Northland game, they lost the shield to Otago.
There you go, yeah.
So you kind of get that hangover. I think once you hold the shield, it takes so much out of you emotionally, and then knowing that you're the number 1 seed as well, heading in, it's hard to get motivated. But speaking to Sam Darry yesterday, he's a man who's motivated. I was like, congrats on making the All Blacks again. He was like, don't really care at the moment. The one thing I care about is making the final of the NPC, even though he won't be able to play because he'll be away with the All Blacks. So they are stacked, the Red and Blacks. You look through their team, I've got them in front of me here, and that pack, he's got George Bell as well, who's been recalled to the All Blacks. And then you've got a guy like Jamie Hanna and Zach Gallagher, who's heading overseas, and Tom Christie. He's heading overseas too, and he is leading the turnovers and tackles in the NPC. No surprise there, is it? So they have got a hard-working forward pack coming up against a Hawke's Bay side who are pretty good up front.
Well, let me just look at their results too, okay? So they've beaten Manawatu 38-10, beaten Auckland 45-28, so they're scoring a lot of points. And then a really weird quarterfinal against Taranaki, where Taranaki scored 3 tries, couldn't score 3 tries. They were all disallowed, couldn't score a try in the end. And that was probably the closest quarterfinal. I still give them a hell of a chance here. I don't know whether home advantage counts much in these games anymore, does it?
No, I don't think so, especially when you got a sold-out cricket game down the road. And I really like Zane Sullivan at Hawke's Bay this year. I accused them of stealing him from Auckland when I was on with Pod a few weeks ago when we were previewing the season, but he is a Napier boy. He went to high school there, and he has lit up that backline. Jonah Lowe as well on the wing, and Folau Whakatava, who's got another chance with the All Blacks 15. Cool to see him returning to his form because we know how good he can be, right?
Yeah, he's kind of been the forgotten man, hasn't he, at that position at halfback? And we've been out of halfbacks all year.
Yeah, especially that type of halfback. I think we've got guys who can clear the ball pretty fast, but guys you can actually play off 9, which I think is so important at Test rugby these days. He's one of those guys, so I hope he goes well. Magpies, Canterbury. I think Canterbury get it done, though. How are you feeling about who wins this?
Just because of the names that you've put in there, the fact that these All Black guys have got a lot to prove, they are at home, and I think that Tom Christie factor might be enough to just get them over the line. And also, the reason I mentioned the draw against Northland, the draw 15-all effectively against Counties, is because this is a side that plays best when they're wounded. And we've known that. I've known that my whole life about the Cantabs. That the worst time to come up against them is when they're slightly underdone, or you think that we should beat them this time. That's the worst time to play them.
Yeah.
And so, I'd probably go the top seed. I think it's going to be really... I think Hawke's Bay got a hell of a shot at it.
Yeah, they've never won the NPC. They came close a couple of years ago, losing the final to the Naki, but they've got that desire in them. And, they got their backs up, I get the feeling, Hawke's Bay, and they want to come down and prove something to Canterbury. But so much class in the back line too. Hake, Braden Enor getting another shot in the All Blacks 15. Dallas McLeod, Andrew Newstub, former Sevens player, playing really well at first five. So pretty stacked, the Cantabs. All
right, tonight then, Otago versus Bay of Plenty. Otago got the shield, got that for the summer. Second seed. 44-41 last week. Last minute penalty got them through.
Cam Miller.
Significantly, though, their two previous games to that, 51-17 over Auckland, 41-26 over North Harbour. So they've got points and points and points in them, and they're averaging in those last 3 games well over 43, 44 points a game. But they're also conceding.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, when you stack up those points, they're conceding 30 points a game. And this is against a Bay of Plenty side, which is running into really good form. I look at them, 33-26 over Wellington, 41-5 over Waikato. And that performance last week over Tasman, your mob, was probably the highlight standout in terms of any of those games, in terms of one team dominating the other team, right?
Yeah, the Steamers were behind at half-time in that game by 1 point, but you just got the feeling they had the momentum, and then they just absolutely put on a clinic in that second half. Lucas Cashmore, I think he's nephew of Adrian Cashmore.
Nephew or son?
Son. It's
Adrian
so
was a really
these
good
days.
player, man. I used to love watching him play.
Unsung hero of that great Blues Super Rugby side of the 90s.
Yeah.
So I just thought he controlled the game perfectly. And they've got this guy on the wing, Kelly Lasunga, who is just rapid. They just, because they're in Mount Maunganui with the Sevens program so close, they just seem to grab all these speedsters out of absolutely nowhere. So he is absolutely rapid. This will be entertaining footy under the roof, because I think you're right. Otago are the best attacking team in the NPC. And speaking to Sam Gilbert this week, their captain, he said, our D coach isn't happy though. So
of course not. You can't be with that many points being
conceding so many tries against our Waikato the week before. So they're on notice. They know they need to pull finger, and they have got an exciting group of youngsters down there. We've all been talking about him. Dylan Pledger.
Yeah, I loved what Jamie said about him during the week. And we've got a mailbag section. I'm going to deal with this as well. But just briefly, I just love what he said about him, about the clamour to put some of these guys up another level and straight into it. He said, give this guy a full pre-season. Let him have the pre-season. Then let him play a Super Rugby season injury-free, and how many opportunities he gets in that. He's got time.
Yeah.
But really exciting player, really exciting.
Oh, so exciting, absolutely. And we've got Lucas Casey on the open side flank as well.
Yeah.
Try-scoring number 7, reminiscent of old Josh Cromfeld down there, just great support player. Christian Leo Willie, having a great season at number 8. Jonah Nareki last week against Waikato. Since he transferred to Sevens years ago, it's just when is this guy going to break out? Well, he broke out last week, had an absolutely stunning game. He is bulky and big these days. So really looking forward to this. I think it'll be another point a minute. I think it'll come down to the last minute. I can't decide a winner. It's been such a dream season for Otago, though.
Yeah.
They must be pinching themselves down there with the shield in the cabinet for the summer. If they can add the NPC title.
Oh, this will be their biggest successful season ever.
Yeah, first since 98. I mean,
and also that Super Rugby side of theirs as well. It wasn't that far off in the end.
No, lots of tight losses. Disappointing season on the table.
They weren't that far off. And so if they can get some of these players and get them up again to that level. So let's pick it. It's either going to be Bay of Plenty playing Hawke's Bay, which is like a local derby, or Otago playing Canterbury. I think you've either got 3 and 4 win, or I can see an all-South Island final.
Right, that's the way you're seeing it?
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to go either. I think either the top 2 seeds lose or they both win.
It'd be great for a derby final, wouldn't it? A South Island derby or Battle of the Bays.
It'd be great for a Bay of Plenty Hawke's Bay, which is almost a derby in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Bay of Plenty 1976, this is before my time, won the inaugural NPC and haven't seen the title since, lost the final last year, and you just get the feeling, that they're up for it this year. They were my choice before the season started, so I can't go away from them. So I'll choose them to win. I reckon it's going to be a Canterbury Bay of Plenty final, which probably isn't the one that you're looking for. There's no real storyline there, is there?
Let us wait and see.
2 of the best teams.
Tony Johnson will deal with this on Monday. John, thank you. Let's go to Mailbag. DSPN, welcome to it again, people. Mailbag time, Lachlan. Oh, no, Lachlan's not here. Lachlan's on holiday. So it's just me doing Mailbag. Thank you so much for all your contributions across Spotify video, Instagram, Rover, Apple Podcasts, DSPN YouTube channel. If you are watching on the YouTube channel, I ask every time. I keep asking. And I thank you every time you do hit that subscribe button for us. It really does help. We're heading towards 17,000 subscribers. We'd like to get there by the weekend. And on the way to 20,000 before Christmas, hopefully. And that's all been since the start of the year. So again, thank you so much for supporting us. If you are leaving comments, just a little reminder. Look, we have a moderator here at MediaWorks. And what they do is they go through all the comments. I read as many as possible and try and reply to as many as possible. But they go through, though. And if there's anything untoward or insulting or anything like that, they just deal with it and remove it or do what they do. I'd rather that we just kept having a conversation. We can agree to disagree, can't we? We're just sports fans. So please keep it seemly. There's quite a bit of insulting stuff on there over the last week or so. And, yeah, I understand. Look, if you want to take it out on us, take it out on us. But hey, we're just here talking sport and hopefully you're enjoying it. Let's start with Tony Johnson, who joined us on Monday. Yes! The naming of the All Black squad. A lot of feedback on this. Thank you so much. Joe Black-D9H. To me, it's a 50-50 squad. He says, a little underwhelming. Then I asked myself, who would I put in there instead of? ? And to be honest, I couldn't think of anyone. I think we have an ordinary group of players to choose from at the moment. I agree with some of that. I don't think they're ordinary, because to get to All Black level, I don't think that anyone's ever ordinary. But I get what you're saying, is that we just don't have the superstars that in the past at times we have had. And the question I always have for all the players is, are you the best in the world in your position? Are you one of the 3 best in the world in your position? And if not, why not? Isn't that what you aspire to? Isn't that naturally what you want to be? And if you aren't at that level and there are players in the world that are better than you, well, why don't you want to be better than them? And to me, a lot of this just comes down to practice, absolute practice. I'm not talking about turning up for training. That's your job. That's what you get paid to do. I'm talking about doing the stuff after the training. And I'll bore you with a little story about Eric Cantona, legendary Manchester United player. And when he arrived at the club, and everyone always credits Sir Alex Ferguson for bringing on Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, David Beckham, the Nevilles, these world-class players, right? Well, Eric Cantona was practicing or training with the squad one day, and the rest of them all went in after training and got showered and everything. And Paul Scholes tells the story, and he says, "Oh, where's Eric?" And they look through the window from the training ground, and Eric's out there. He's got the youth team out there, about 10 guys, and he's got them lined up in walls. He's got them crossing balls so he can volley it. He's out there practicing for 2 hours. The best player in the team is practicing. And so Scholes says the next day, I put my boots back on and went out there and practiced with him. Within 3 days, the whole squad is out there practicing for 2 hours after training. This is what I mean. And I wonder how many of the All Blacks actually do that, practice. Because for me, every single one of those players, in the back line, for example, should be able to do a wipers kick or a 50-22. Why the hell not? All of them should be able to kick a drop goal from the 22. Last minute of a World Cup final. We're pounding. We're a couple of points behind. First 5 gets stuck in the ruck. Comes out to you at second 5. Oh, I can't do a drop kick. That's not my job. What? Why isn't it your job? Make it your job. Get better. This one from Vinny Barbarino. I think it's Vinny Barbarino, who used to be on a program called Welcome Back, Cotter. I like your handle. Obama Lomax is injured. I feel we need a powerhouse winger like a Julian Savia or Jonah Lomu style. Yeah, 2 absolutely legendary players, of course. Yeah, I get it. I've always thought Caleb Clark would be that person, but just hasn't played consistently enough for us. But having two wingers, I want to see one of them like a real stepper, like a wide receiver in the NFL, somebody who's just got brilliant footwork, amazing acceleration, real pace, and then a big barger on the other side. Dwayne Gray says, surely we can play a game without Geordie in the midfield. Try Tupai at 12, Proctor or Leicester at 13. There's a lot of comments come through about why is Geordie there. I think Geordie Barrett is, well, he's one of those guys that I believe, with a number 12 on his back for the All Blacks, is in the top 3 in the world in that position. And at times he's probably got a claim to being the best in the world in that position. I don't get why people don't get how good this guy is. Hohi Pataika. I hope I pronounced that right. I don't know whether that's your right handle or whatever. The New Zealand 15 is going to contain the next tier of players or those who missed out on All Black selection to be coached by Jamie Joseph. Not a bad place to be. Could still be called up due to injuries. And I'm looking forward to the name of that squad. Yeah, great names in that squad. Great young names in that squad. And I don't know if any of them are going to get called upon the Northern Hemisphere tour. But when you look at those names, it gives you a lot of faith, I think, in the future. That doesn't mean, I think the idea is to put all of those young guys straight in. And there's a great quote from Jamie Joseph during the week about Pledger. And he said, all this clamour, put him in the All Blacks, put him in the... No. He said, give him a full preseason, give him a full season of Super Rugby. We got time with some of these guys. I agree with Jamie. From Gustavus 60, and then Vinny Barbarino replies. Again, you got 2 times this time, Vinny. And this kind of sums up a lot of the comments that we've had over the All Black squad. Mackenzie is not, and I repeat, not in capitals an international fly half. This is not a world-beating All Black squad and never will be. And straight underneath it, this is the team, guys. They'll win the World Cup in a couple of years. I guess it's just what side of the bed you got up in the morning, how you view it, glass half full, glass half empty. I think that this is a pretty damn good squad. It's not the best in the world at the moment, but these are the best players that we've got. There isn't just this huge big wishing well of amazing world-class players. I go back to my point. Some of these guys could be the best in the world. It's up to them to do that. As a coach, there's only so much you can do. If the player doesn't want to get out there and actually upskill themselves, how do you get them to do that? Try the Nolene Toda approach, right? Good, we're not even going to start talking about that. Netball New Zealand, for God's sake. Really? Really? Are you sitting around a boardroom table patting yourselves on the back this week? All about this, are you? As we go into the Constellation Cup. Oh, yeah, we're doing a great job. Oh, the board. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, CJ. Yeah. Hank Goldenshaft. We are clearly not the best team in the world, but we can beat and have beaten any team on our day. We would need to hit a run of form and possibly get a few 50-50 calls to win a Rugby World Cup if it was held right now. And that, my friend, is the recipe to how to win a Rugby World Cup. I've been to, about 4 of them, I think it is. You have to have a bit of luck. You have to have all your best players fit at the right time. You've got to find a little bit of form either before the tournament or during the tournament. You have to be onside with the ref, and you've got to get some 50-50 calls. The World Cup is not won 2 years before the tournament. And I think that there's a fair few of us that get caught up in this thing that, oh my God, we've got to prepare a team now. By the time you get to the World Cup in Australia, we don't know who's going to be there because the best player that we've got could be injured in Super Rugby. God forbid, but it could happen. And so if you look at the last couple of World Cups, for example, South Africa didn't go through unbeaten. We beat them in Tokyo. And then that awful semi-final they played against Wales, one of the worst games of rugby you'll ever see, they were lucky to win that. And then they played really well to beat England in the final. And so what? Were they the best team at the tournament? Well, we beat them at that tournament, right? And then they also lost in Paris. They lost to Ireland. We beat Ireland, and they had a fair bit of luck. I'm not taking anything away from their victory, but they had a fair bit of luck and good fortune in both the quarter, semi, and the final, winning them all by 1 point. So my point simply being is that the timing's got to all come together at the right time. And they have been brilliant in the last 2 World Cups at getting it right exactly when they need to get it right. But that's not 2 years beforehand. Rugby's. This is the book of Leviticus this week. Here we go. Count them out. I think that's 10. Again, I appreciate and I applaud the fact that you have taken so much time to write so much. Wow. A lot of good thoughts in there. I'll leave it to you as a watcher, as a listener, of this podcast to work your way through that. Graham Lowe on the program with John Day. We had a bit of a roundtable panel during the week. Just a bit of fun talking about Lowe's comments about Reese Walsh, about he thinks that Reese Walsh should be paid $5 million by New Zealand Rugby. We should get him over here and so forth. How serious do you take this? As serious as, blah, blah, whose round is it? That's how serious. Just a bit of fun. I love this, though. King, I can't actually say that. Yeah, you can read that on the screen. All Blacks don't paint their fingernails. Yeah, they do wear eyeliner, though, if you do remember. This one from Mike Scudder. Nehi Milner Scudder. So much impact when he came in, such a legend. Absolutely. He was one player that I think grew up playing rugby league and then went to Union and was absolutely brilliant. In the 2015 World Cup, what a difference that guy made. What a hero for New Zealand he was. I got so much time for Nehi Milner Scudder. Graham Lowe again. From RCHW8052. Forget Walsh, just give Ruben Love a damn run. Then we need to look at Joseph Manu, who was at the highest level in the NRL. Besides, New Zealand doesn't have the cash to buy elite players. Yeah, so look, we were talking about this, but we weren't entirely serious. It's never going to happen. Reese Walsh is not going to come to rugby. But mentioning Joey Manu, good call, because I've been sitting there thinking, surely this guy is earmarked for the All Blacks, isn't he? I mean, he went over to Japan under the tutelage of Steve Hansen and Ian Foster. He has to be, does he not, in consideration. And now he's gone to France, but New Zealand Rugby must be keeping an eye on him. He didn't just leave rugby league to go and play club rugby, surely. Surely his ambitions were to play at international level World Cups and be on the biggest stage. This guy's a beast. He was, if not the best player in his position, one of the best, and if not the best player in the NRL at the time. He was enormous. And I think people have quickly forgotten how good he was. He would be a brilliant rugby player. No question about that. If he's given the time to get it right, and hopefully we get to see him in a black jersey next year. I mean, I'd take him on the tour of South Africa. Why the hell not? And we spoke to Inside Rugby with Mark Philpott from Mexico. Had a bit of a collab during the week as well. Yeehaw Yolo. And there goes the surprise of 2025. Devlin did not play rugby. He was a supporter. I've been doing sports broadcasting now for, how long is it? 27 years, something like that. I think it's been pretty well known during that time that, no, my rugby career was short and sweet. Ended in the second form. But I've been watching it for 50 years. And like everyone else that watches it as much as I do, yeah, we think we have a fair clue of what's going on. Couple to finish with. I love this from Grant Cossey. You can't compare sides of the past. The competition is nowhere as good as it is today. Well, aren't you comparing by saying that, Grant? Isn't that exactly what you're doing? You can't compare sides with the past because they're not as good. But as soon as you say that, that's exactly what you're doing, right? And I'll leave you with this one. A good rant during the week about New Zealand cricket and where New Zealand cricket is at. And like a lot of people of my generation and that have grown up watching as much cricket as we have, we're very disappointed at the way that the sport is run in this country now, that the players seem to have all the power, that they turn up when they want to, that our best players can't be asked playing the Chap or Hadley. And to me, that's really insulting to both names, but more importantly to Sir Richard Hadley, who's our greatest ever cricketer, without question. You can't be asked coming and playing that. You pick and choose when you want to play. It does leave me cold. But C. Fez says, old man yells at clouds. Yeah. Well, what are you doing about it, mate? Huh? Apart from replying to me, what are you doing about it? Do you care enough? Because I do. I think it sucks. I think the fact that we have no international cricket here in New Zealand, January and February, is a joke. It's our summer. And our national team isn't playing at home during our summer. Again. This doesn't bug you? Well, it bugs me. And so I'll howl at the clouds here. What else can I do? I got to howl at the clouds. I'm not leaving this one outside off, mate. This one has to be hit to the fence. That's Mailbag. Keep them coming. As I say, try and keep it seemly, please. Otherwise, the moderator steps in. But we appreciate all the feedback that you do give us. Have a super weekend.
DSPN.